Well, y'all, I think we got a good one for you tonight. We are debunking the myths of Bussey Break. There are a few myths out there that some of my friends that fish Bussey Break, they get fuzzed up about, and I hear them fuss all the time. Man, people think this, people think that, yada, yada, yada. And I listened to them, and finally I got to thinking, I'm like, man, you know what? This would make a good podcast. So I got with Chris Wynn and Lathan Shivers, and we got on here, and we just broke down the top 5 myths that we believe are on Bussey Break right there in Morehouse Parish. It's a good little fishery. Don't get me wrong. It's a great fishery. I want you guys to come up and visit with us. But you got to understand there's a few things about it you need to know. And these guys really fleshed it out well. So let's get to some sponsors. Marion State Bank. If you guys are going to bank local, come and check out Marion State Bank, all in North Louisiana. You can't go wrong if you go to Marion State Bank. The town of Farmerville and the Union Parish Tourism Commission, thank you guys for all you do for the podcast and for our area right here in rural America. Union Parish and Farmerville, man, you guys do an outstanding job. Lake Darbone is promoted great by the town of Farmerville. Discover Monroe, West Monroe. You need to check those guys out if you're coming up and you want to know what's going on in the Monroe, West Monroe area. It's a great website. Can't say enough about what they got going on out there. They have the great website, great Facebook. Go check them out, Discover Monroe, West Monroe. And finally, Janet Fortenberry State Farm, great insurance company right here locally in Union Parish. Go check out Miss Janet and her State Farm agency. So let's go right now and debunk Bussey Break. All right, we got some guys today who've been busting my tail to talk about Bussey Break. And I've kind of put them off a little bit because, they're my friends. I mean, we're all good friends, and I have to listen to them a lot. But I think they really got some cool stuff to say. So what we're going to call this one is Debunking Bussey. I got Chris Wynn and Lathan Shivers with me right now. Two guys that really do a lot of good. If you've been on the Bussey Break page on social media, you've seen them pretty good bit. Lathan finally got his double-digit bass the other day. That man, golly, how many fish have you thrown back, Lathan, that were in the 9-pound range?
It's more of a saga than it is a story, man. I started bass fishing years ago. I was 7, 8 years old, and I'm closer to 40 than I am 30. And I always wanted to catch a double-digit fish, and it took me 11 9-pound fish to get one that was over 10, and that just happened Sunday.
Good lands. Well, congratulations on that, sir. That's a big feat in and of itself. And Mr. Wynn, you are no stranger to the double-digit bass. How many double-digit bass is notched in your belt now?
4 now.
Okay. All right. Well, that ain't bad. We had Chris on here not long ago. We were talking about Bussey Break. Chris, and the reason I want to bring Chris on is Chris is really strong on Bussey. He's been out there a lot, and he's got some good. Like I said before, I've kind of hesitated to bring you guys on because you're my buddies, and I hear you, but then
I don't know. Buddy's a strong word, Greg. Buddy's a strong. That's a strong word.
Yes, sir. You're right. It's a relative word too. It all depends on how the one person feels about it. But and my daddy said, "Are you listening to me, or you just hear me?" And I finally started listening to y'all. And I'm like, you know what? These guys may be on to something, maybe on something we need to really talk about. And it may be interesting for some folks to talk about Bussey Break. So, Lathan, you guys also may know Lathan from TP Outdoors. He is the bow guy over there at TP.
I'm better known as a bow hunter than I am a fisherman.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with that. That was my first introduction to you.
I'm no professional fisherman by any means. I'm just an old country boy that likes to wet a line.
Yeah, but on the same hand, I think some of the stuff we're going to talk about here in a little bit kind of plays hand in hand with deer hunting, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I get to some of the stuff that I'm recently getting into with some of the what are we going to call management of fisheries. That right there. That's really turned my ear the last 2 weeks.
Me and Chris had this conversation on the water the other day, managing these fish and waterways the same way we manage deer, for trophy deer hunting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, y'all ready to get started on the myths of Bussey Break? And hey, first off, guys, these two guys came up with these myths. I like them. I like it. Well, actually, I came up with the first one. The size of Bussey. Chris Wynn, start us off with the myth of the size of Bussey Break.
Yep, the myth is everybody think they can go out there and just catch a DD. Like Layton said, it took him 11 9-pounders to achieve that DD, and he fished hard. I mean, we fish from daylight to dark, since it's been open. And what you see on social media is what people post of their trophy fish. They don't post the little dinks that we also catch and go through. We got to go through our numbers to get the trophy as well. And like I said, they post that on social and everybody gets hyped up and think they can just put their boat in the water and first cast a DD. No, that's
now.
not
Hold on. That's number one. That's the last thing we're going to. Go to the size of Bussey Break. How big it is. It ain't very big at all.
Yeah, 2,200 acres.
No, it's
2,200 acres.
Yeah.
It's more of a big pond than it is a major waterway like, Lake Fork or Toledo Bend. A lot of people see all the stuff on social media and they fail to realize that this is a small place. I mean, when you take that many fishermen and put them in one fishing hole, everybody's bumping boats. I mean, it's not a big place. So with it being concentrated and everybody bundled up like that, there's a pretty good chance that more bigger fish are going to be caught. Because there's less water for them to hide in, and easier for people to get a shot at one.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
But it is a small lake. I mean, you can, if the wind's right, you can be on one side of it and catch a good conversation on the other side. I mean, we've heard people griping at their old lady. We've heard people talking about deer hunting. We've heard people talking about what they're going to have for supper out there.
Well, when they first, I first started hearing about Bussey Break, Kenny Haddocks, he had a lot to do with bringing back Bussey and all this. And man, I love Kenny Haddocks. And if you know anything about Mr. Kenny, he's got cancer right now, and he's battling. And Mr. Kenny, if you're watching this, brother, we praying for you. He's the editor of Louisiana Sportsman. And but Mr. Kenny kind of put it on my radar. Yeah. And I got to looking, and I'm like, wait a minute, this was a mill pond. This was what IP used for their fire protection and whatnot like that. And so I got to looking, and then I realized it's not a very big fishery. I think Shinny Lake in Monroe is 3,000 acres, and Bussey's 2,200. I mean,
that's small.
It's
small. Yeah. I mean, it's, as far as I know, it's the smallest lake around. It's the smallest lake we've got in North Louisiana.
Yeah, and so I'm not trying to deter people from coming up here. I just want you to understand when you come up here, it's not the major fishery as far as size that you think it is, and there's plenty of beautiful places to stay when you come up here. So please come up, visit, and hang out with us, but don't come up here thinking that you got a big body of water to cover. And that's one thing that surprised me about when MLF came up. That's a small fishery for them to be on.
It is.
Okay. All right. So the number 4 thing, and Lathan, you're going to start us off on this one. The number 4 thing, the myth of Bussey, is the bait color. So tell us why that is a myth, brother.
Well, if you've been fishing long enough, you're always going to know that somebody's best friend's cousin's uncle said the only color to use out here is XYZ or whatever it may be. So I think a lot of people still believe that. A lot of people use that to their advantage to a sort and go out there and think that, we got to use this bait and we got to use this color. But, I mean, from our experience and the amount of hours we've spent out there, we found that to be absolutely false, man. We've caught them on every kind of bait you can imagine and every kind of color you can imagine. I mean, we've been on a tear, where we're catching them real good and change colors to see if it makes it any better or any worse with no difference. I mean, that water out there is so muddy and dingy that I don't think that they really get a good look at it, because a lot of what you're getting is a reaction style strike, and if you put it on their nose, they're going to eat it if they're ready. It's up to the fish. I think that's a lot of the personality of that Florida genetic that they put in there. Those fish are bred to be aggressive, and they eat when they're hungry and they don't when they're not. But bait color and bait choice, man, we've caught them on anything you can imagine. I mean, it doesn't seem to make a difference. Just fish whatever you like, fish whatever you're comfortable with.
Chris, what do you like to throw out there? What color?
I like to throw a white bait out there, then the shad spawn. And like I said, we've been fishing out there and seeing guys using dark color where I'm flipping a white bait, matching the hatch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, it's
Whatever
just
you
what a
got
person's
confidence in.
confidence. That's it. Whatever
That's
somebody's got
right.
confidence in. Yeah. Okay.
Confidence,
All
baby.
right. So, is there any particular top water, spinner bait, anything like that they seem to like, or is that going to affect them at all?
A lot of that depends on the time of day. No, I still got you.
Okay.
A lot of that depends on the time of day. I mean, you're probably not going to have the luck throwing a buzz bait in the middle of the day that you would right at daylight, you know. So, I mean, that factors into it. You got to apply the right kind of bait at the right time of day and the right time of year also.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay. All right. So, we've talked about the myth of the size, that it's not as big a fishery as some people think. We've talked about bait color. And now we're going to get into something that a lot of people, it's something that I know affects a lot of people. I know people who won't fish tournaments because of this, you know. Electronics. Do you have to have electronics to be successful on Bussey Break?
Man, I'm living proof of that, man. Those guys, I see them roll in out there with those $80,000 and $90,000 rigs, you know, big nice bass boats with 4 or 5 graphs on the front and all that. And they look over to their left and they see me out there standing on the bow of that 12-foot aluminum boat with a 10-horse on it, and they think, man, this boy right here's country's outdoor toilet. He probably ain't gonna catch nothing today. And they ease right on by, and I'm over there picking them up. And
well,
I have
zero
electronics.
Let's be honest. You have that, okay? You are country, okay? You country is outdoor toilet, like you said, but you can't catch fish.
I can't hide from that, man. I'm from West Carroll Parish, born and bred, man. It's on me thick. Can't wash it off. Mr. Clean won't take it off.
It won't take it off, will it, Chris?
No.
So this is a weird friendship to me. To be honest with you, we've got Chris Wynn, who's clearly an Asian. And we've got the second most country person I know, Lathan. You're the second most country person I know. You know who the first most country person I know is?
Greg Hicks.
No, my dad.
Come on, man. Yeah. Don't throw Grizz under the boat like that, man.
Grizz he's country's a truckload of corn. I mean, he's something else. So, before we go to the next, before we even go even farther, how did y'all become friends? This is something I want to know.
That is a good story in itself. So I'm from West Carroll Parish, and I graduated high school in 2006. And I left West Carroll to come over here to Monroe to go to college to major in beer and women. And
that's right.
I started working at TP Outdoors, and I met Chris probably the first month. He was one of the first people that I ever met whenever I came to Monroe. And when I met him back then, he was a die-hard fisherman, didn't hunt hardly any. I mean, he hunted a little bit, and he got into duck hunting some, and I was a die-hard bow hunter. So during fishing season, he fished, and during hunting season, I hunted. And a few years ago, he decided to take up bow hunting, and he spent 2 summers here at the compound with me training, and he is what he is now. You know, he took it the rest of the way. He's killed several nice deer, a very accomplished bow hunter. And through the process of doing that, he started getting me back into fishing. And it was like a runaway train downhill after that, man. I mean, spent all my money, drained my account. My wife barely knows me now. Got gray all in my beard. Live on the water. Got a suntan that nobody can beat. Live out there.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So, all right, any more on electronics? I mean, so if somebody goes out there without electronics, Chris, what am I looking for? Like me, I've got side imaging. That's all I got. What am I looking for?
Mm-hmm. Just fish the structure. I mean, you don't have to have it. Like I said, he don't have electronics until like a week ago. But his method was, what was you doing later? Dropping that bait down to see how deep it'll go.
I pulled out that old redneck West Carroll fish finder. If I want to know how deep it was, I just lower my bait out and I'd reel down to it, and then I'd lift it up. My rod's 7 foot, and if I had 3 foot, it was 10 foot deep. And I didn't even have to take my shoes off to count that far, Greg. Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't need electronics.
Got it figured out, Cat.
I know that's right. I like that, man. That's slick. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, man, I caught all those good fish that I caught most of those, out of my boat with no electronics, no nothing on it, just a lot of trial and error, covering as much ground as I could and being patient. You don't have to have those electronics to fish out there.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have, live scope on my boat, but I don't use it like dedicated to go searching for fish.
Fishing together and him fishing alone, we have never actually caught a big fish out there using live scope. Yeah. We've never
live scope
a big
is
fish.
It's a single player game, so with me and him fishing together, it's hard if I take control of the boat and just start cruising looking for fish. I mean, he'll be left in the back, nowhere to throw or anything like that. So
yeah, we get up there on the deck together, and I mean we're like a NASCAR pit crew up there, Greg Heath. We pull up there them bushes, and man, we're just bang, 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 reading each other's mind. We cover every little old pocket. Anywhere we can drop that bait, we hit it and on to the next wad.
Yeah.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Like a well-oiled machine. I got you.
No leaf unturned. Sometimes they bite it, sometimes they don't.
Folks, you see why I wanted to get Lathan on here tonight, right? He talk better than I can. You know what I call you? Put your sunglasses on real quick. You know what I thought about this, Chris? Put your sunglasses on.
Before I do this, if there's any female viewers, just know that I am a married man.
He is a married man. Y'all too young to remember this group, but right there, you know who he looks like right there? He looks like Barry Gibb off the Bee Gees. The lead singer for the Bee Gees back in the set. That's what he looks like with that beard, not hair.
Good looking guy, handsome fella.
Hey, he was a very handsome man. How about that? He was a handsome fella.
I'll tell you this, Greg Hicks, we're getting few and far between these days.
I know that's right, cuz. I know that's right. I'm leading the pack. I'm the 45-year-old good-looking man of the group. How about that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Look, if I had to pick 3 people that had the best beards in town, Greg Hicks would be one.
Dude, that means a lot. Thank you, dude. I take a lot of pride in it.
I'll give you that compliment. Especially in the winter time, get some length on.
Oh, yeah, to get a little length on them. My kids told me the other day, they said, Dad, there's 3 things in your life that you love. And I said, what's that, baby? She said, us, your grass, and your beard. I said, yes, ma'am. You got that right. They named them all in right succession, too. They're number one, and they have that. What?
that grass, you took speaking about that grass has been rough, man. We'll have to get you out here during the summer when we start shooting bows out to the compound and go shoot some arrows at the range out here. But right now, I haven't been able to mow, man. That grass so tall you could hide a couple of wore-out Cadillacs in it.
I bet over in West Carroll, y'all got that rich soil and all this water we got.
My daddy says that soil over here in West Carroll is as rich as 9 foot off a bull's rear end.
Yeah, I guarantee it is. Over here in Union Parish, I'm struggling. I got to put out lime, fertilizer, and all that. I'm going to come over and steal some of your topsoil and put over here.
Yeah, that dirt over here does 2 things. It grows maters and taters.
That's it, man. That's it. All right, so let's move on to the number 2, the top 2. We're again, if you're just tuning in, if you're just picking up, we're naming the top 5 myths of Bussey break. So we've covered the size, bait color, electronics. Now we're going to visible structure. So Chris, tell me about visible structure. Why is that a myth?
Yeah, people think you go out there and just see, all the trees and whatnot, but now it's getting mowed down. A lot of that willow tree and stuff is dying off. And what else is hurting it is the beavers. They're eating them trees and stuff down too. So, and the thing is, you can get, it looks deceiving because you can see a twig and it'll be like a whole tree down there. So, yeah.
So if you see just something like that, it's worth a throw then.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. That fish that Chris caught back early in the year, it was just like 3 little sticks sticking up about the size of a number 2 pencil that he pulled that fish out of. There's all kind of stuff down there. I mean, I guess the part of the myth too is everybody looks out there and sees that visible structure and sees a bunch of people fishing it and think that there's nowhere to fish. Anywhere we go, we're fishing used water. But if you knew what we knew and what some of the people that saw the lake before the water was put back in it, you would know that there is a plethora of underwater structure out there. If you got forward-facing sonar, you can see it on that. But I mean, where you're looking at all those visible trees, 15, 20 feet out, there's just as many more down on the bottom that you can't see. So, I mean, there's fish out there in that lake that never get casted at in a week.
Yeah. That's
In
what
a
helps
week's
the
time,
pressure, helps them survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you can still manage to catch a fish when you go out there, because you think, man, all the pressure and all the pictures and all the videos, man, this thing is getting hammered. But there's fish that aren't getting casted to. There's fish that aren't getting pressured on that day. You know, there's all kind of places for them to hide down there. So you maybe, you know, that fish may move up into a bush that you go up there and throw it an hour after someone else just came through, and you get a fresh fish, you know.
So just me thinking, Chris, you made a comment that some of these willows are dying and then the beavers. What is there a possible problem with some of that structure going away?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. From when it opened until now, man, them willow tree, just last year, them willow tree was, you know, full of leaf and green. Now you go out there, there's look like winter time. It legit look like winter. Yeah,
I don't think any of the willow trees budding this year. I think all the willow trees are dead.
And on top of that, like I said, it got the beavers. Man, like, tell them how big them beavers out there, cuz.
Oh, look, Cat. Let me tell you something right now, Cat. We could go out there and kill 3 of them beavers and outfit them seats in that Chevrolet pickup with a brand new set of beaver hide covers. 3 of them.
They're that big. They're mauling them trees down.
I guarantee you. And they so big, you could even take the tails and reline your dashboard in it.
Good lands, man.
I'm telling you, drive that thing down on Saturday night, you had to beat the women off of you with a stick. I'm talking about some prime beaver fur on them things.
Boy, you something else. So look, now I guess what I'm trying to go is, do we need to be proactive in creating maybe some type of man-made structure, kind of like a reef, or something like that? Because I mean, if this stuff's going away, it's not going to stay there forever. And if that goes away, is that going to hurt the fishing?
I think it will. Yeah. The cover goes away, so the fish don't have, you know, cover for them to hide and get away from the pressure. And that's what helping Bussey right now is all the cover they can get away, like Lake and Cover. You know, they can get in spots where boats and people haven't cast yet. But when the cover goes away, I mean, the underwater stuff probably deteriorate, you know, after so many years, but the top part is going to fall off, or, you know, float somewhere else.
As time marches on, you know, all that stuff's going to break down, even the underwater stuff, you know, because that lake takes a beating. When a storm comes up out there, that lake gets hammered. I mean, it looks like the ocean out there when a big storm rolls up.
Really?
And a lot of that underwater structure, you know, breaks off eventually from all the waves and boat traffic and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, eventually the structure is going to start to disappear.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you know, the Wildlife and Fisheries kind of has that on their radar, you know, and we can continue what we've got right now, because this is a good thing. I enjoy, and as much as we fuss and carry on, or I say we, you guys fuss and carry on, because y'all fuss a lot about this, about the emphasis and the attention that the lake gets. It's fun. It's a good thing. And I know you guys enjoy the fire out of it.
We like all the social media and stuff. We're not super serious about it. You know, we try to be humble, you know, to a degree, but we have a lot of fun on it. You know, joking around and picking at one another and stuff.
Yeah, and I know that you guys, like, what tripped me out was when John Michael Hunter, you know, somebody posted, was it the day you caught that fish? Like, man, somebody was hollering, and he posted a picture of you later with a big old carp.
Well, I kind of get it honest, though, because, I mean, I am the king of the trash fish. I do hold the unofficial, undisputed, never official lake record shoe pick, bowfin, grinnell, depending on what part of the world you're from.
Now, I've seen that shoe pick. That dude was big, man. That thing was a hoss. And hey, I'm going to get that picture from you. I'm gonna post it in this video while we're talking. That thing is huge. Yeah, it's like you and I were talking. Isn't that weird? Because you know they didn't stock that thing. They didn't stock that lake with them things.
Bro, they crawled across the street from Bartholomew.
I guarantee you, dude, that son of a gun was out there in Bartholomew one day, and he smelled them big bass across the street, and he flopped up there and popped out and crawled across that Blacktop Road right in the water. That's how that sucker got in there.
I mean, because, man, that thing, it was that thing's been alive well longer than that. You can't tell me it ain't been alive well longer than that lake's been full.
I'm gonna tell you another thing too. I have hooked up to the state record jackfish in there, old Cajun pike. I've caught a bunch of them in there, but I hooked up to one the other day, had a mouth like a 7-pound bass. It looked like a Cajun muskie instead of a Cajun pike.
Yeah, they're big in there too.
They're big in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's y'all ready to take on this number one topic? Chris, you kind of hit on it a while ago.
Yeah.
The number one myth for Bussey Break is that there is a bass a double-digit bass in every treetop. Now I'm gonna ask both of you, is that true?
No, that is not true. That is false. Prime example today.
I can attest to that.
Yeah,
like earlier, like I said, Lathan caught 11 9-pounders. We fishing hard, and I know guys that go out there, and I get reports from them. Like today, I had buddies went out there. They caught 2 fish. I think as big as one was like 5 pounds. They were out there since daylight to 3, and people just get this misconception. What they see on social media, like, man, we're going to come out here and catch DD. And I hate that for them because there's people that's driving across states to get to our body of water, thinking that they're going to catch their fish of a lifetime. And, man, it's not going to happen just in a day or two, maybe in a trip or not. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's not. But the thing that I would tell those people that think, man, there must be a DD in every bush, what I would explain to them and show them is a small body of water with a ton of fishermen coming into it. So the more fishermen you have, the more your chances of a DD being caught and posted is in that same day. The pictures that they're seeing is due to the influx of fishermen. It doesn't have nothing to do with there being a fish in every single bush. I mean, I'm living proof of that. I mean, for the last 2 years, I have fished that thing hard, and I mean, every chance that I get, I'm there at daylight, and I'll fish till after dark, usually around 20 minutes or so after dark. So like some 14, 15-hour days. And it took me 2 years and 11 9-pound plus fish to get one that went over 10 pounds. I mean, I caught a 998, a 991, a 990. I've caught a bunch that were right close, but never did get over that.
1-0.
I mean, but there's going to be somebody that goes out there for their first time ever and casts a beetle spin with a Snoopy rod and pulls in a DD. I mean, that's I fully expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you this kind of leads into what I want to discuss next. The next question I have, I know there's a friend of mine on Lake Darville who's caught a fish. The fish has a distinct characteristic. It's got a mark on it. It's about a 4-pound bass. He's caught that fish 3 times. He knows he's caught that fish 3 times within the last 3-4 months. He'll take it, and I mean, I think the first time, he doesn't release it right there. He'll take it away and release it, and he's caught that same fish and that same treetop, and he knows it. I mean, he's got it time stamped. This guy is as confident that he's caught that same fish as he's sitting in that chair beside me when we're talking. So I ask you, how many of these fish do you think are like you said before, Lathan, recycled? How many?
Yeah, I use the word recycled.
I think a lot of them do.
It is. There's a fish out there on Bussey. If you scroll back far enough on the Facebook page, you can find it. But one of my friends caught it, and 2 other people have caught it. I think the fish started out around 8 pounds or so. But the fish has got one eye missing. It's got a fogged out eye that's put out, and it has a white scar on the gill plate. And 3 different people have caught and released that fish. So I mean, I think that happens a lot too. With the amount of people that catch and release today, that's proof that it works, because a lot of those fish are being caught again.
Right.
And all we're seeing as the viewer is a picture. You think one picture, one fish. It's easy to get caught up in that mindset, but a lot of those fish are being recycled. Someone else has caught it and released it, and then it gets caught again.
Yeah. And and I'm not knocking anybody that, has gone out, multiple times to Bussey and fished the same treetop and caught another double digit or 9 pound. Hey man, I do the same thing. I'd go out there and say, man, I've had success at this spot before. I'm going to go out there and see if I can do it again. It's just how it is. But, on the same hand, maybe, I don't know. I say tag and fish. That way we'll know when they, we can say how tag number 574 has been caught 10 times, since January, something like that.
I think that'd be a great program. They can give us some tag. We'll tag the hell out of some fish.
I bet y'all would. All kind of fish.
To know, any trophy grinnell, jackfish, gar.
White perch. Hey, don't white perch are that big too.
Well, you keep them white perch. You ain't throwing them things back. No, that tag ain't gonna do no good for you.
Yeah.
So, hey, Lathan, let me ask you something. We're talking about white perch. You like to fry fish, don't you?
I do, man. I get a lot of practice.
Yeah. How do you tell me your setup? What's your setup look like?
Well, I set that burner out in the garage on a piece of cardboard and squat down there on my knee and drop them hush puppies in there one at a time.
I'm going to send you a table because, y'all, they send me pictures when they fry fish. This man is squatted down like them little third world countries you see where these people making tacos or whatever. And Lathan's down there with his little fish cooker and he's got his little cook. And he's right there on the ground. I'm like, man, why don't we get this guy a table?
Look, man, life's hard when you're broken and ugly. I mean, what you going to do?
Well, you got your cardboard. I'm at least proud of you, keeping the grease off your concrete.
I do that because I was afraid my wife was going to make a hat out of a frying pan on me if I got some oil where she parks her car.
Yeah.
So I put the little cardboard down, catch the oil if I drip a little bit.
Well, that's wise thinking, young man. That's wise thinking.
Happy wife, happy life, man.
That's right. Now, let's keep talking about big bass. Well, I saw something the other day. Well, actually, I was at a bass tournament. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Rex Moncrief. Rex Moncrief and John Brown used to have a television program up here in North Louisiana. And Rex and I were on Caddo at a high school bass tournament. And Rex brought up a point that I've never thought about with fishing. Now, we talk about it with deer hunting a lot. But we don't talk about it. I haven't heard it much with fishing, but it makes 100% sense. And that is, when we throw, and we do catch and release, and we throw these fish back, what is that doing to the carrying capacity of that waterway, that fishery? And are we actually being counterproductive in the weight of the fish by putting those fish back versus keeping some? What are y'all's thoughts?
I think the small ones need to be kept, and I'm pretty sure they're probably getting their share numbers of being kept too. I mean, we're in Louisiana. I mean, the mindset of everybody is catch and kill and clean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure the small fish are getting kept, and it's probably helping Bussey. But like I said, Bussey has so much structure and everything. I mean, them fish can squeeze in and hide and stuff like that. Now, Caney, that's why they took that slot off of Caney, because they wanted to get rid of all them schoolie, them smaller fish. So them bigger fish get a chance to grow and get big too.
I think that's why wildlife and fisheries in Louisiana makes the rules and regulations that they do, is to prevent that. That's why they allow you to keep, based on the waterway, like on Bussey, you can keep 5 fish total. Because I think they come up with that because it's a small lake and one fish can be over. I think on a bigger lake, those rules should be different. Maybe you can keep more fish or whatever. But I think that's why they implement those regulations, is to protect what you just said. Not of keeping the I don't know what you call a herd of fish, but keeping the lake in check.
I got you. Okay.
Keeping the population in check.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so let's I can't have a bow guy on here without talking a little archery. That's just who I am, man. So it's the early part of the summer, Lathan Shivers, and there's a lot of guys like me, a lot of guys like you and Chris Wynn that, even though we're doing a little fishing, back of my mind's getting a little tickled about, I wonder what kind of stuff's out there for archery this year. What kind of cool stuff?
It eats me up.
I know it's eating you up. You just got a new bow. So, Lathan, lay it down on us. What's some new stuff that's pretty interesting this year for archery?
Well, I mean, the hottest topic right now is that new bow Matthews come out with, the lift. You know, that's been the buzz here lately. You know, I don't know if you looked at one yet or not, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's been a mega hit for us.
Yeah.
It's compared to like last year's bow and the year before. It's faster and it's lighter. You know, you don't see that a lot. You know, nowadays when one's faster and lighter, because I mean they're starting to get to where they can't do just a whole lot more. They always find some kind of way to improve it a little bit, but the takeaways on that lift is it's fast and it's light. I mean, it's a fine bow.
Do we know anybody that has a lift right now?
I haven't got mine yet. Chris has just came in, but I haven't put it together yet.
Oh, I thought you done shot it, Chris Wynn. I done got excited for you, man.
No, I shot some demos, but
he shot the demo when I got. Yeah, we haven't put his together yet. We're going to when the fish stop biting, we're going to put it together.
There we go. There we go. Right. You know, Lathan, I wondered this. You just said something that just, you know, something popped into my mind. You said you don't know how they keep making stuff like they do better. Do you think maybe they hold back a little bit? They're like, man, that's they come up with something when you're like, man, that's too much. We can't release that right now because we won't have nothing for another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 100%, man. I've been to the factory up there at Matthews and stayed a week, and when I tell you that's a top-notch team right there, I mean, they got it going on. I mean, every aspect from the receptionist to the guy back there taking the trash out, man, they've got an exceptional team. They know what they're doing. I mean, they are top notch.
Good deal. Now let's talk about, you know, and there's another hot topic in archery. Every year, you know, people are always, man, what kind of broadheads you shoot? What kind of broadheads? Anything changed in this year? Anybody come out with a different broadhead?
Oh yeah, man. That's a perpetual cycle there. That'll never change. There's going to be new broadheads and new ideas and new theories every single year. I mean, that's, you know, I've been working in archery retail for 18 years. This will be my 19th season coming up, and that's probably one of the most debated topics, bar none, is broadheads.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a lot of experience with it. I've chased down every avenue that you could think of on that. You know, I've shot them all.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna ask you your opinion right now because I want people to come in and talk to you about your opinion. But I know you have a broadhead that you like and that you shoot and that you believe in. Yeah,
and you know what they say about opinions, but the way I deliver it to people and the way I explain it is application. You know, I'm not married to one broadhead for all applications. You know, I ask questions. You know, if someone asks for a recommendation or just wants to conversate about them, I kind of try to get a little backstory and find out, you know, what are you hunting, where are you hunting, and you know, what kind of setup do you got, and then make a recommendation from there. Because like Chris's setup is different than mine, so I recommended him shoot a different head than what I shoot. You know, I've got a little bit more airspeed, a little more draw length, so I can afford to go to a little bit bigger cut broadhead. But as far as, you know, mechanical versus fixed, it's all application. You know, I shoot mechanicals exclusively for deer hunting around here. But if me and Greg Hicks are going elk hunting in Colorado, I'm leaving them at the house. You know, I'm swapping to a fixed blade.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's pretty easy to tell someone that, you know, there's not just one. I mean, you need a different broadhead for every application.
Now, hey, here's something I'm gonna ask you. I think it was last year you got me into Victory arrows, and you put the front of center on there. And I'm gonna tell you, I love them. I absolutely love them. You still believe in that?
Yeah, I do, man. Chris is a good testament to that. We got him a little set up, you know, with his arrows, man. And I mean, it's pretty dead. I mean, he's the proof's not in the pudding, the proof's in the eating. Mm-hmm. And he's got the pictures to show. I mean, he's done well with it. You know, we don't shoot high poundage. You know, we stay around 55 to 60 pounds. You know, and have great luck with it. You know, on big mature deer. You know, but a lot of that's built into the setup. You know, we build the energy into the arrow.
That's where you hit them, cuz.
That's exactly right. You know, that's exactly right. But I'll tell you right now, just in the yard on a block target, my goodness, the penetration I get with those arrows versus the full metal jackets I was shooting, it's 6-8 inches different.
Yeah,
I mean, it's big difference.
It's by design. You know, you've got mechanical advantage built into that outsert type system with a small shaft behind it. You know, it's creating almost zero drag on the arrow, so you've got mechanical advantage on the media that you're shooting in. You know, the insert's making a pathway for the rest of it to follow through, and that equals more penetration.
Yeah.
But there's other benefits to it too. I mean, you know, having more weight in the front of the arrow helps with deflection. I mean, it carries your arrow in the wind a little bit better. I mean, there's some other benefits to it too. But that's kind of the train of thought. Now, every arrow manufacturer is going to have an arrow style very, very similar to that. Most of them have small, medium, and large diameter. I mean, there's a lot of good options now. I sell a lot of those Victory arrows. I like how they're spine aligned, and they have a wide range of GPI selection. You know, Chris and I, we shoot the RIP XV, which is a very light GPI, and then add a little bit of weight in the front, and we get a medium weight package. You're shooting the TKOs, which is closer to your FMJs, you know, the VAP TKO with, you know, a 50 outsert, I can't remember. You may have a 75. I can't remember.
I think it's 50.
Matched it to your. Yeah, I think it was 50.
Yeah.
But you know, it gives you options. You know, they got a lot of avenues. You know, what I tell somebody on that is, let's figure out what you want your end product to weigh, and then I can make a suggestion from there to fit what is closest to that.
Good stuff, brother. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, look, we're right on top of 40 minutes. So, anybody else got anything else they want to say?
If anybody knows where any big fish are, let us know. We're all
right.
here.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Well, look, thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate you. And guys, look, my name is Greg Hicks. This is the Antlers and Hicks podcast. And as always, I'm going to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. We'll see y'all next time.